What if the future of the world depended on one man's willingness to trust a voice he could not see? Civilizations rise and fall. Families break apart. People wander, searching for meaning. Humanity has tried to build its own greatness and failed. But in the middle of the noise, in a land filled with idols and false gods, God speaks. And the man he chooses is not a king, not a warrior, not a prophet. Just a man named Abram, living quietly in Haran, carrying questions, carrying losses, carrying hope. Abram, leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. Not a map, not a destination, just a promise. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. Through you, all families of the earth will be blessed. Abram's heart pounds. He is 75 years old. His wife, Sarai, is barren. His future seems small. His dreams seem impossible. But something inside him awakens, a spark of faith. He gathers his belongings. He calls Sarai. He tells his nephew Lot, and with trembling hands, Abram steps forward, not knowing where he is going, only knowing who is leading him. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. Abram walks through deserts, hills, valleys. Every step is obedience. Every mile is surrender. Finally, God leads him to Canaan. Abram stands on the soil of promise. The wind brushes across the land like a whisper of destiny. God speaks again. To your offspring, I will give this land. Offspring. Abram looks at Sarai, still barren, still waiting, still hoping. Yet Abram builds an altar. He worships. He believes. Because faith is not seeing the miracle. Faith is trusting the one who promised it. Look up. Count the stars, if you can. So shall your descendants be. Abram's eyes fill with tears. He cannot count the stars, but he can count on God. And in that moment, Scripture says something breathtaking. Abram believed the Lord, and it was credited to him as righteousness. The covenant is sealed. The promise is spoken. The future is set in motion. But the story is far from over. Abram teaches us something powerful. God's promises often begin with a step of obedience. Faith is trusting God even when the timeline makes no sense. Your current situation does not limit God's future for you. When God speaks, He is already preparing the fulfillment. In our daily lives, we apply Abram's story by choosing trust over fear, obedience over comfort, and worship over worry. Because God still calls people today, not to understand everything, but to follow Him faithfully. Abram believes. But years pass. Sarai remains barren. The promise seems delayed. Hope feels fragile. And then, when all seems impossible, God does something that will change Abram's life forever and the world after him. The birth of a miracle child, the child of promise, the child named Isaac. But how does God fulfill a promise that seems impossible? And what happens when Abram's faith is tested beyond imagination? Find out in episode 7, The Birth of Isaac. If this story touched your heart, go back and watch the previous episodes, from creation to Adam and Eve, to Cain and Abel, to Noah to Babel, and see how God has been writing a story of redemption from the very beginning. Share this episode with someone who needs hope today, and stay tuned for episode 7, because the miracle is coming, and follow for more. Subscribe.